Friday. We are live for another Asian Heritage Month feature. Hello, I am your host, Andrea Lowe, founder of Toronto Event Hub, and we're here for another edition of Asian Heritage Month specials where for the month of May, I've been featuring our local unsung heroes, various local Asian entrepreneurs and business owners from my network who've been doing amazing things. And I wanted to take this opportunity to highlight their skills, their stories, for you to get to know them and their amazing work. And I'm very excited for today's guest. But before I get there, I just wanted to say I really appreciate everyone who's been tuning in. Whether you're participating, you're engaging with comments and feedback and questions. Thank you so much for supporting this initiative that I have. And if you missed out, thank you for watching later on. It's really meaningful to the people who are attending the show, and I just want to say thank you. And so today's feature, I think it's number 9 of 12 that I'm doing. So it's been a really wonderful experience and very inspiring to hear all these amazing stories of people, coming from different walks of lives and ending up where they're ending up today. So I really hope that if you haven't caught all these interviews on IG or Facebook, they're all recorded so you can play them back, but they're super inspiring, incredible stories, incredible entrepreneurs and business owners in our community. So if you're ever feeling down or stuck or just have a watch, they will truly inspire you. So take a look, and thank you again so much for whether you're participating or supporting. Thank you so much. It makes me so happy. So today's guest, though, is my dear friend Echo Wang, and you probably have seen her and I have posted in several Facebook groups and LinkedIn, etc. She's an incredible woman. She is one of the first people that helped me with my Toronto Dating Hub business, who helped me with, she taught yoga for my virtual events when I first started my business. She's incredibly inspiring. She's an amazing woman, and I help her with her business, Yoga Kawa. Most of you maybe know her through, puppy yoga and Yoga Kawa, but there's so much more to Echo and her story. So I'm so happy to have her as today's guest. And today's topic really is about how she has used yoga, meditation, mindfulness to help her clients, a lot of women, Asian women too, to break through limiting beliefs and common stereotypes, which is such an important topic. And I just can't wait to talk to her. And I'm going to bring her up. And also want to shout out that it is U of T Alumni Reunion Week, and we both serve on the executive committee of our Management Alumni Association. So if you happen to be a U of T alumni, drop in the comments if you're a U of T alumni. I just want to give a shout out to all the U of T alumni. And welcome, Echo, to the show. Thank you so much for making time on your Friday to be here.
Hi, everyone. And I want to say thank you first to Andrea. Let's do a high five. Can you bring your hand close? Oh, yeah, right here, right here. There you go. Wonderful. Awesome, awesome. So I always love working with Andrea. She is like my right hand. Whatever I'm missing to create a good business, she's got it organized, detailed, and powerful and fierce. So love working with her. And thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you for all the interview you've been doing. I've been watching them. It's nice to see other fellow, unsung Asian heroes that, sharing their stories and how they rise up and becoming just kind of the theme of, this year is continuing the greatness of our legacy. So thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem. And the first question I usually ask all my guests so far for Asian Heritage Month is, tell us, for people who don't know, what is your ethnic background and your favorite thing about your heritage or culture?
Yeah, no worries. So I'm from Taiwan, and I am 80s baby. So that it sets the tone for, what I know, because the world moving so fast. So being the 80s baby, this comes with, a certain fun stuff and certain not so fun stuff, which we'll talk about. And so Taiwan is wonderful. It's an island. So I'm an island girl, I guess. And, we are the one of the first Asian country, I think, or Asian country that allow gay marriage. That's very proud about that. Yeah, and what I favorite thing about our culture is our food. Who doesn't love Asian food, right? And I also enjoy some of our history. If we look back in, the Chinese history that is associated with, how Taiwan was formed and such. That's also something I enjoy reading. And I love the fact that we love crowding around Asian food, that sometimes we can be a little bit loud and excited, and that we love gathering around and eating like a family, which is very similar to a lot of other culture as well. But, I love dumplings. I love Chinese New Year's, the envelopes. Oh, who doesn't love a red envelope? I think that's special for us, right? Red envelope, passing it around the Asian culture, and fireworks. Yeah, so that's something I really enjoy when I was living back in Taiwan.
Wait, is bubble tea like did Taiwanese people were they the first to create bubble tea
I like to
or
say
how
that,
did
but these days people are fighting over the rights to bubble tea. But hey, if everybody's enjoying it, why not? But chat time is Taiwanese. There's a lot of franchise are here are Taiwanese. So in that way, monopolizing the situation here. So lots of Taiwanese bubble tea franchise.
nice. Thank you for that and some history and facts about Taiwan. So that's awesome. So speaking, okay, you're an '80s baby, and tell us a little bit about your story because, like I said, a lot of people maybe know yoga kawa with there's puppy yoga, there's you do corporate yoga, but I know there's so much more to your story and how you got to where you are today. So please share your story.
Yeah, well, thank you. So yes, people do know me for leading a corporate wellness company called Yogakawa, which is also a leading company in Toronto right now that runs puppy yoga, which is a really fun event. And because its popularity, so that's what I am known about, and how I am known about, and how my company is known about. But there is a lot more that I do that kind of was unsung, but I'm trying to create more awareness around is. Bring yoga mindfulness into people's lives so that they find their what we call the dharma, their purpose in life. And throughout the pandemic, mental health was also an important topic, and that's when another side of Yogakawa was also booming, helping a lot of corporate companies, helping their employees become happier, healthier from the inside out through yoga and meditation and mindfulness workshop that we also do. So I'm really happy to create this company. And a little bit of background to my story was, um, some of the female limiting story kept me in long-term relationship that I wasn't happy deeply inside. I don't know what was wrong because when you're having a limiting belief, a story that's stuck in your subconscious, and you really don't know. But thank God, once you connect with your soul and your heart, you'll know that something is wrong. There's a friction in your life that you don't know about. And because of that friction, I went to yoga classes and I thoroughly enjoy it. And I found that I was able to think clear. I was able to find focus clarity. I was able to understand time value. I was able to see all this thing that was deep down inside me that I wanted to explore. But some of the Asian culture that asks you to conform. You just think that there's a box that already, but there's so much more outside of the box. So yoga and meditation really helped me, and that's why I became a yoga teacher, and that kind of evolve into Yoga Kawa, where we offer not only just puppy yoga but largely corporate wellness and recreational fitness classes to condominiums, and also obviously individuals. So I personally coach and mentor um, females largely, but I like to expand that as well because everybody can get help or get discover in what's more important inside them as well. So the personal coaching portion where I utilize yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and Reiki by understanding chakra, which we can talk another time as well, the energy system in your body, and using tarot card as guide to help activate intuition. And intuition basically is that mind body connection. So basically, mindfulness, mind body connection, letting your body know what's the next move for you is what I'm about in terms of individual healing programs and mentorship programs. So yeah. Not sure why I can't hear you. Give me 1 second. Maybe my headphone
Sorry,
is.
I muted myself. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
that's a first. I mute
uh,
myself.
I know. So, sorry, before we get to the limiting beliefs and stereotypes, and I know I told people that we're going to do group tarot reading. So, if you've never done that before, I've convinced Echo to do one for us at the end of this session, which is really cool and definitely differentiates you. I want to quickly talk about um, I feel like yoga meditation has come a long way because I feel like years ago, because I actually had thought, I think I told you this like a long time ago. I was like, I want to become a yoga instructor. I just didn't find the time yet, but maybe I will now that I help you with
Ooh,
yoga
exciting.
kawa. But I feel like long ago, but I think it still is prevalent, but not as not as common anymore. But people used to be like, oh, yoga, um less so much about meditation, but yoga is only for like more for females. It's like a female activity, or it's only for certain kinds of people. Like yoga is a weak fitness activity, and it's come a long way, which I love the fact that it is. But again, you never know who's in our audience. So, could you please educate people who aren't as familiar with yoga and meditation and mindfulness what some of the benefits are? That it's not just for one group of people or gender, that it has so many proven benefits, health benefits, intellectually, emotionally, like everything. It's just so good. So, yeah.
Hmm. The first thing that's attractive about yoga in terms of corporate world is because it's a low impact activity. With obesity that's on the rise, right? And we, as a working professional, sitting in sedentary positions, when you have weight challenges, you don't want to go into high impact activities, which may further injure your joints. So low impact activity is probably a great way to start. So that's where yoga has become, I think, prevalent in in the corporate world, so that you're not using high impact activities that may further injure your staff. And yoga, well, I think females are much more nurturing, I think. I mean, just the way we have been brought up all these centuries and such. So, because of that craving for that nurturing side and caring for side, I think female do um, tend to be drawn to yoga. But yoga was actually practiced mostly in India by men, largely by men. And that is because, through hormonal change, there's a lot of urges that may come on, and we use yoga to calm. We sit with those emotions so that we can move with these emotions. So that, meditation is great that when you sit down and you think about what's going on in the mind, what kind of emotion I'm thinking about. But, everyday life, we still got to be moving. So it becomes a moving meditation. And that's what yoga is. Now, I was talking about what yoga is. Really, meditation is actually an umbrella. It's under the umbrella of yoga. People think that they're separate, but really, meditation is part of yoga. So yoga is the larger arch, and meditation is one part of it. Oh, sorry, one part of it. So yeah, just want to talk about that. But in the Western world, we talk about yoga and meditation differently. And I think yoga and meditation are important for everyone. I mean, meditation aside, because I think Keanu Reeves, Michael Jordan, I think maybe Jeff Bezos as well, and Steve Jobs, and they all talk about the importance of meditation already. So I'm not going to talk about that because I think it's people really understand the importance of taking the time to think about what kind of ideas, limiting beliefs, stories that are uncovered under the carpet in our mind. But yoga, I think, is should take not take over, but I think that yoga should be even more promoted. And I think yoga is becoming a mainstream trend is because it's low impact. It has meditation in it, and you can actually build a lot of great muscles in your body. And think about all the elasticity or muscle elasticity that your body have. That you can. Well, we're not trying to be a pretzel, but think about what your body can do. I know it sounds silly. Oh, I'm going to put my leg over my shoulder. We're not here to laugh at, oh, it's a circus. It's a circus performance. No, but your body can do so much. And imagine that every day we're just sitting there typing away, just doing, simple daily tasks, but your body can do so much if you practice. Your muscle is so smart, your body is so sophisticated. And when you practice yoga and go to that level and understanding that you are so connected with your body and your body can do marvelous things. And that's what really anchored me and loving about yoga, that I didn't know my body was so smart and sophisticated. So yeah.
I love it. Even and of course a lot of yoga instructors and like you just have that like calming voice, the yoga voice that like when you teach yoga,
Ah.
it's just like it's so comforting. It's and of course I've obviously been to your classes. So if you haven't tried Echo's classes, honestly, she's a great instructor. She just like the way that you move through the poses and the flows, it's really good. It's easy for all levels, and she does teach you the variations, so whether you're beginner or advanced. So if you haven't tried it,
Mhm.
you definitely try it. Um, but yeah, let's go to the main topic of today's chat, which I know has stirred some buzz from the audience. It's kind of controversial, but the limiting beliefs and stereotypes, specifically for women and Asian women. So let's chat about that. And I know as I say this, there are people in the audience like, there are naysayers, and there's people who are like, why are we focusing on women? And it's not just women that suffer, and this and this and that. However, we're just taking one topic today, and it happens to be this one. But I'm always about, you see all the different interviews and shows that I do. If you have a topic you want to talk about, you know message me. I'm happy to shed some light on different topics for sure. But this one, because you do actually coach and train people on this, and it's something dear to you that you've overcame and still addressing. So I definitely want to shed some light on this. So the post that we had promoted, some of the stereotypes that we and limiting beliefs that we and we ourselves have definitely encountered. So for example, right, like being in our 30s, and women have a biological clock that we need to have kids and be married to. And this is a great example. You're a new mom, you're married, and I'm, technically single. So this one is like near and dear to me, where I'm constantly like, my parents will remind me, my body will remind me. And, but more and more, it's like there are many different ways of what happiness looks like, happiness and success, that it doesn't need to look like,
Mhm.
women need to be married by this time or have kids, and that's the only way that success and happiness looks like.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Well, thank you so much for mentioning the word controversial. So, I think a lot of events around the world, a lot of topics around the world are all important. But we're doing this thing about, the female because, I'm a female and it works for me. And I wanted to talk about it and bring awareness to females and also allies who are helping out females. Doesn't mean I don't care about the limiting belief that men may have, right? But because I can relate, so I wanted to talk about it, and hopefully we'll bring awareness to the woman who might thinking that something is not sitting too right with me, and then this might be the reason why, because the culture. And some people may say, well, what's so special about the Asian culture? This 30 thing, this biological thing, all happens to all different race. Like, so why the Asian? Well, I just want to bring up the attention that it is it is so prevalent that this limited belief you'll hear from your parents, your grandma, your aunties, your uncles will say the same thing, and the media and the advertisement all talk about it. Like all the models that maybe we all use are thin, fair, right? So we'll see a really nice tanned, thin, a female popping up. So the amount of messaging around these limiting beliefs or these stereotypes are ubiquitous, like it's everywhere. So I just want to bring that for those from a different culture doesn't understand why we're focused on it, because it is so everywhere and it's generational. It is throughout our history. And just to bring up a point, like if you want to bring up a point why Asians so different, like I think we're the only culture that used to tie little girls' feet into a little bundle.
The binding of feet.
Binding feet. Like how is that ever a
The smaller your
beauty?
feet are, so you can't
I
even hold
know.
them, as pretty.
Yeah, yeah. And then the smaller your feet are, then you're likely to get a better match with a wealthier family because to them that is wealth. Or if you have a bigger earlobe, that is also a sign of, well, yeah, we want that. Like that's very special to the Asian culture, even though that's a long, long time ago. But this this binding feast is so special, and standard of beauty and luck and prosperity just slowly carried down to our to a generation, maybe to the 80s, right? And I'm happy to hear that, things are slowly opened up. But let's think about this. Like, I think only until 1980s, just around when I was born, that females are able to, own their own properties in Taiwan. Maybe other country are much more faster, but just think about it and think about the difference. Like, Michael Jackson was way popular at some time, but it took some time to come to Taiwan or Asia. So that that time of growth, sometimes maybe slightly slower in the Asian country in that aspect. So that's why I wanted to talk about these standard of success, definition of success for women is, it is still pretty prevalent right now. And our family, auntie, uncle, Chinese New Year, we're talking about any occasion. Oh, getting together, marry. Oh, I'm going to talk about it. And so we're really just being echoed all around about these idea. And the more you hear, if you learn from biology, we are a creature of, or we're shaped by our environment. We are shaped by our environment. So if the media is saying it, your parents are saying it, you will slowly believe that is the truth, right? I went off tangent, but Andrea, please pull me back. Like, I got so passionate about
No,
this.
no,
What
I
am I
love it.
answering?
I love it. No, no. I mean, going back, some of these beliefs about, you mentioned about being thin as a beauty standard. By age 30, women who aren't married or have kids,
Yes,
there
yes,
must be
yes.
something wrong with them. And
Yeah.
honestly, those are prevalent not just in Asian culture. It's really
Mhm.
across the board.
Yeah.
And what other ones that are like, the woman standing behind the male, like why are you
Oh,
behind the man?
that one affected me
You
so much.
know?
Love it. So, well, yes, the 30 thing is definitely across the world, I believe. But I think Asia, or at least Taiwan, what I know, is the one of the only country or one of the only culture that uses leftover women. I don't know if you heard of that one, but those who
Mm.
haven't married, sometime if you go to an auntie's house, oh, you're a leftover. It's been 30 and you're not married. You don't even have a boyfriend.
What's the
You
term
don't
in?
have
Is it in Mandarin or Taiwanese? Like what do they call it in? Say it.
剩女,剩
Yeah,
下
yeah.
的.
I've
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of
yeah.
that.
Leftover, right? Leftover. Like, oh, that's just horrible. How do we ever come up with that term to describe women who
There's even
are hustling in their business and just don't have time to focus on the romantic relationship to settle down and for a family, right?
there's Facebook pages. I don't know the whole subtle Asian dating, but there's like a
Oh,
leftover one for like the 30 plus or 40 plus. So it's like
wow,
a
wow.
play on it to be like haha. You know what, we're the leftovers, but we're like it's a group that's really like
Yeah.
we still feel like we're awesome because just like even though we're like so-called the leftovers because we're above the age of 30 but like we're still killing it. So
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
on that and let's talk and actually I'll just share a comment here from Christine about my family says 30-year-old females who are still single have personality disorders. Yeah, this is thank you for sharing that, Christine. And it's like, and again, if you're experiencing it or if you heard or seen, like if you obviously all of you guys have females in your lives, whether that's a partner, a cousin, an aunt, a sister, we've all been there. So it's definitely harsh to hear, but we almost become like accustomed to like, okay, this is just the way of life and we have to deal with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to talk about Echo. How do you use, like, it's so interesting, how do you use yoga and mindfulness and meditation to combat this? How have you helped
Mm-hmm.
your clients with this? Because I find
Mm-hmm.
this way, this method, obviously we already know great benefits of yoga meditation. We just talked about it. But then how have you specifically used these methods to combat these limiting beliefs and stereotypes?
Mm-mm, sure, no problem. So I just want to take a moment to talk about Christine's comment, which is wonderful. This is another stereotype that makes the Asian limiting belief much more stronger, much more sticky, I guess. She said, "My family." One of the biggest thing in Asian culture is honor thy family. What that means is the way that parents love you is by being authoritative figure. And I'm sure they're trying to protect you. And then obviously, when we're young, we don't know much. So becoming authoritative, it does bring benefit. And now I'm a new mom. I wish I could just tell my son to stop doing without explaining other things, so he won't talk back to me. So this honoring thy family thing means that someone else's uh, comment and value is becoming slowly more important than yours. So this is a huge one. By the fact that you have to feel like I need to make my mom proud, I need to make my father proud. This is the number one thing in my life, and then the rest just follows, like the beauty part. And it must be beautiful and thin and fair for my family and make my family proud. I must become married by 30 because it makes my family proud. This whole family proud lineage thing is one of the I think a really root challenge that that really challenged the Asian culture, I would say. Definitely for me, right? And it really just kind of just figure what love means to you from a parent's point of view. And if we don't take this time to be aware of this, are we passing it on to the next generation? So talking about how yoga meditation really helps. So when if you're obviously there are people who truly believe thin and fair is the beauty standard. There are people who believe that a proper career for me or life stage for me is to get married by 30 because for some reason the way I stagger my lifestyle career. Hey, if it makes sense for you and you truly believe, that's fine. But there are going to be people who are unique and beautiful individuals that they feel like that's not what my soul or heart is calling for. Maybe because we saw a beautiful drama series at a young age about a woman becoming a lawyer, become an IT programmer, and she's just having an awesome career. And that's what I want, right? So perhaps your soul is calling out for you. And the other thing is when you are listening to your family, thinking that honoring your family is more important, you will suppress your individual voice. So when you suppress your own individuality and your individuality is calling out to you because you've been ignoring it for so long, that doesn't matter what kind of limiting belief there is. Whenever you have this connection between your heart from the mind, your body will show. Your body will store. What we like to say in our yoga industry is the body keeps the score. The tightness you feel around your heart, your chest tells you something that something doesn't feel right and there's friction in your life. So you have a choice of connecting to it and find out what's wrong so that your life can be great in your dream, in your own vision, or you can suppress it and listen to other people's values and opinions about how you should structure your life. So yoga meditation is a great way to create that mind body connection. And I know a lot of coaches out there, use strategies, consultative ways to come develop a growth mindset. But I believe the reason why yoga is important is because we believe that the body keeps the score. Something is wrong in your body because something in your life is not working. So the mind body connection is very important. I mean, think about it like when you are in your mommy's womb, one of the first thing that develops before your brain is your heart. Your heart matters. Your heart knows. So, and your body carries this wonderful, is a sacred temple of a wonderful vessel to carry your spirit. And so your body knows a lot of things. And that's why there's a gut, there's the heart, and there's mind that you need to work with. So when I use yoga, meditation, mindfulness, I'm trying to align all these three. Because I'm pretty sure there's people who come into their life situation where they feel like my heart says A, my mind says A, my heart says B, my gut says C. What's going on? And that's when you have disalignment. You have cognitive dissonance. So when you use yoga and meditation, you're trying to align all these three. And when that happens, the decision that you make is right for your life, for sure. So that's my approach and philosophy of using yoga and meditation. And the reason why, I'm glad we're doing a tarot card reading. And the reason why tarot card is because people sometimes can't just imagine their perfect life or bring their emotion out unless they see it in front of them. And the tarot card serves in my practice anyway, uses to activate intuition, to activate your mind body connection. It's empowering you to trust in yourself. Yes, some people use it to read the future and such. Yes, there's a way to do that, but largely for my coaching and mentorship program, I use tarot cards to help people activate their intuition, their mind body connection, so that they start trusting themselves. Because if you know that decision come from your deep inner core, deep inner wisdom, you know that I have no regrets because I just use the best knowledge that I have at that time from my body, from my experience to make that decision. And that's what I'm going to go with. And that's the kind of confidence I want to create using yoga, meditation, Reiki, and tarot cards. Did I answer your question? You're muted.
Doing this. I love what you're saying. Everything resonates, and especially, and I'll share a quick personal thing about this where I used to I people who know me, like, I'm a big advocate of mental health and getting professional help, because and we should normalize mental health, getting help for mental health things. It should be as normal as getting massage or physio. And um and I had made a switch between, like, a lot of people know and are aware about like talk therapy, but I was actually referred and suggested to do body therapy. And I didn't know what body therapy was at the beginning, but I realized how out of sync and out of tune I was from my gut and my intuition, because a lot of times, it's as simple as, when you go for a massage and it's like, where does it hurt? And then they ask you, like, rate your pain from 1 to 10, and is it a pinch or a sharp pain or this and that? And I literally freeze because I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I have to think of, because I'm just so out of tune with my feelings, from my body aches to how I really feel, because I think so much. And I don't think it's just women, but like, or especially women, but like, I just think so much. Everything comes from my analytical mind and my thoughts and my rational thoughts versus like, what does my gut tell me? So I love what you're saying about, like, when you align all that, everything becomes so much clearer. So whether you're struggling about business decisions to personal decisions, like earlier you shared about, staying with the wrong person for so many years, right? Or like, just so much. So anyways, it really resonates. And so I really hope that it resonates with our viewers. And so with that, for some non-believers or just people who are like on the fence, or just like, it's like, I have to see it to believe it and all that, I would love for you to share a story or a success story, whether that is, diving deeper about your success story with that, or a client. So you don't have to name names or anything, but just so that our viewers can be like, this is their challenge, and then this is how you used, yoga and meditation and your training to help them sort of overcome it. Because I feel like those kind of success stories are and case studies are just super powerful in getting people to, I don't want to say believe, because that sounds so like phony, but like, to just know that yes, this works. Because there's a lot of people out there that's, when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's all like, it's as if about like magic and tarot cards. It's like, you're just being like superstitious, and like, that's like, do you
Ooh,
believe in
ooh.
magic? This
It's
hocus
woo
pocus
woo.
kind of shit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, but if we really understand that or believe that, the book called The Secret, that you can think your way to wealth, then you can really think your way to wealth. So to each their own. I think the difference between fact and truth is that truth has different many versions depending on your experience and such. Kind of like what Sharky did. Hi, Sharky. I don't know if you're here, but everybody has their own truth based on their experience, based on their perspective. So if they feel like it's calling out to them that something with yoga, meditation, and tarot card, which are ancient healing method from a long, long time ago when we don't even have science, and it's being bring so much to I don't know how many people and how many generations. So if you feel that with all that, experiences and year of proof still can't convince you, that's fine. That's completely fine, because science is always discovering new things. But science also slowly proving that meditation works. Hello, Harvard, right? So just saying. So some of the success stories. So I want to talk about success story in terms of a strong woman. I think one of the limiting belief that really stuck with me when I was young was behind every great man is a strong woman. Now, talking about greatness, there's a lot of strong women. My mom was a strong woman. My mom is a strong woman, and but that comes with they're strong because they're willing to tolerate, they're willing to sacrifice, and that makes them strong. But that can eat slowly away at their own dreams, right? And that's where I want to segue a little bit into what I just said about honoring my family. Your family, for sure, most of the time, is thinking what's best for you, but in their own version. Okay, just think about that. Even though if you disagree your parents, but they are here to protect you in the best way they think it's right. So just kind of know that now that you are raised up in a Western society, that you understand free speech, the love from a authoritative Asian parents are just kind of different, but the intention is good. Just the method may not work with you. Just to be fair, authoritative figures can sometimes produce really high functioning, high producing children. But again, good and bad. Okay, so I want to leave it there. Not Asian parents are bad. Okay, but I know all Asian parents have good intention, but it's just what they've been, messaged through all this lifetime. So segue coming back in. So I think what I've seen really great with my clientele is the definition of a strong, successful woman. And the strong, successful woman sometimes can it's determined on which years you're in. So the 80s or my mom's. In my mom's time, definition of a successful woman is to marry well, that with resources that can take care of them so that she can take care of a family, become a great COO of the family household. Then I think come to my age, a successful definition of successful woman is, becoming a lawyer or a doctor, kind of like thriving in its high earning potential, but yet at home is still a nice daughter, a nice wife that is softly spoken, still can do it all, and somewhat letting the husband take the reign, which comes down to every great man behind it is a strong woman. So let's take a moment to think about that. Why are we behind a man? Why are we standing behind a man if we can also stand beside him to be as great and productive and providing and nurturing all at the same time as equal and allies, right? So that actually, that limiting belief actually, made me go down through a rabbit hole of challenging relationship that just didn't really sit right with me until yoga rescued me. So this definition of strong, right, is hustle through, let emotion be aside, because sometimes emotion gets in the way. But no, but I love how you shared is that I think what people don't recognize is when your heart, mind, and gut is in the same alignment, the action you take have a quantum exponential explosive component. This is when the coach coaches you, that you experience that alignment. This is when you take quantum leap. This is where you collapse all the time you missed out when you were stuck in that limited belief, and you're able to take explosive action that catches you up from all the things that you've lost. So I know it sounds ooh again for those who don't want to believe, but it works. So in terms of a strong woman, so recently I met a client who in my mind is just impressive, strong, and marvelous, just like a unicorn. But this unicorn had a challenge of also not facing insecurity inside, because again, emotions are in your way. Why am I facing emotion? Because my mind knows all the blueprint to success because someone has laid out to me, and the corporate world has laid out to me. So I just need to climb that because I had the discipline, I had the skills, and had the ambition. I
Education.
can do it. Yeah. But then what that comes down to, when the external factor kicks in, you realize, oh, that's not what I was looking for. And somehow I feel lonely. Somehow I feel not aligned. Somehow I feel like all the things I've been doing for the past few years are just sounding silly, right? So we want to avoid that. And that's when a strong woman feel like, oh my God, all the years of achievement, what was I thinking about? And this tumble is like a big deep fall down, like, I don't know,
Midlife crisis.
Canyon Creek, or like waterfall, not like the biggest waterfall. Oh my goodness, it can be very traumatic. But some people can outside is like, you are so impressive. What's your problem, right? So all in terms of this a strong woman is that, and I think you're a strong woman too, by the way, very strong, Andrea, is that your emotion really matters. And when I draw a tarot card for her, she, even if this card says star, but she will have a negative
Yeah.
emotion on the
I
picture.
was gonna guess that.
But when I see a star, I'm like, a star, right? So it already depends on everybody's truth. And that's why, tarot card is used for intuition and guidance for me in that sense. So I think the biggest success I've seen is that when they sit down with their emotion, kind of take out their anger, insecurity in their little hand, and think about that little, I don't know, I guess little Echo, little Andrea, little client in their house, like, wow, I've really ignored you all this time. I am so
Mhm.
sorry. And the moment you acknowledge your feeling, that insecurity starts to peel away. Because what people don't understand is that when you sit with the emotion for too long and suppress them, they will take different monstrous versions of themselves. For example, a limiting belief that women should be caretaker. That means, okay, I should stay home a lot of time after work. But that also can translate into, well, I'm a caretaker role, so why am I becoming a leader at work? So I'm just going to silence myself. So feelings and limited belief can transmute themselves into monstrous things, that monstrous block. So by sitting with the root, which is the emotion, these opportunity for them to come into a monster or other belief blocks and crazy obstacles fades away. And the moment they fade away, you gain clarity and you're like, oh, all those 30 years I'm doing makes sense because now I have to do this pivot and I'm great. Right. So that's the kind of success I've seen just by sitting with emotion, by tapping into their gut. Because when people feel like the external factor is bigger than they are, they just like stop trusting themselves. And that's a very dangerous part. Like if you stop trusting yourself, then you doubt every step you would take and every step you take. And that's when people's opinion started to become paramount, becoming bigger than you. So trusting yourself, building that confidence, that deep intuition connection, and knowing that you do have the answer within changes everything. And sometimes that's why like true discovery call just finished. Bang. It's done.
So true. Everything you're saying, especially that last part about all of us at some point feels like either hopeless or clueless, and it doesn't matter how much education or experience you have. We've all felt that way, or it happens every week or whatever have you, right? And it's so true in my sessions. It's like your highest healing, like your intuition, like you actually have the answer. Because whenever my therapist asks me, like at the end of the day, like what is your higher healing telling yourself, and I'm able to say it, but it comes from like very very deep inside, and it's like exactly you already have the answer. It's like it wasn't someone else that had to tell me, it wasn't something I read, something like it's so powerful what you're saying. So I really do hope more people, especially if you're watching this, that we're spreading this news of great work, that
Awareness.
awareness, and trust your intuition, but like find the guidance and help. Like again, it's as simple as if you hire a fitness, like a personal trainer, right? And we don't think twice about that, really.
Mm-hmm.
Getting professional help in even more important areas of your lives to help with your career or your personal life, it's worth every penny. So
Totally.
but I know, I want to take this moment to ask it for if you have any specials or events coming up or anything. Where How do we find you? How do we reach you? Just so, because I know you're doing so many amazing things. So and later on you can type that into the comments so people know how to find you. But take a moment to promote what's coming up for you.
Thank you. Well, I never thought about promoting myself. If I want to say, I talk to Andrea. She knows everything that I do. Um, but I right now I'm trying to grow my business and grow the corporate wellness portion because I think people are coming back to the office, and that is a change that people may not be, used to. Right, all changes are challenging, so that's why I've been focusing more on growing the corporate wellness program that my company offers, the meditation program, and the guided the yoga program, as well as Zumba, because I think Zumba is a really fun Latin dancey type of way to bring cardio back, and a lot of workshop as well, talking about how to maintain your energy, how to find calmness in your speech. So I do a lot of keynote speakers and workshops as well. And obviously, personally, I'm taking on very little clients because I'm so busy with the corporate wellness side, because I think I really want to grow that foundation that I've built on. So I'm taking on very limited clients, just working with people that I really love, that really resonate, that they feel that I can help them move and transform because I can help them discover the truth that is in front of them that is blocking them. And obviously, I only want to work with people that I enjoy working. So, I mean, I appreciate the, just if people have questions, that if something that resonated with you today, I'm happy to jump on a call and make that connection because I'm just slowly building up that my coaching and mentorship program. So if you are interested, at Echo Wang Mastery or at Yogakawa, you can reach me very easily through Instagram or Facebook. And yeah, and if you can't reach me, then Andrea will find a way for sure to get to know to find me. But because I have a baby, not a new baby, I have a baby, so my most productive hour is 3 a.m. and 2 a.m. where I respond.
That's
where I
when I see the
respond.
emails and messages, and I happen to be up, even if without a baby. So I hear you. Do we have time for that group tarot reading? Because that would be
Yes,
lovely.
yes, that's true.
Awesome.
So I don't know who is online, but whoever is going to watch this or whoever is online now, the beautiful part about energy is that, well, I don't know if you everybody believes it, but time is an illusion. Time is something that we set up in our civilization just to help us measure, but energy is always flowing. So I want to take some time to whoever who's going to watch this, and obviously Andrea too, because you are definitely a strong Asian female and such, and everybody can always have time to check in with themselves. So take this time to think about all the discussion that we had, where you think that you want to make more strive. It could be your health, your spirituality, your in your relationship. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be your romantic, it could be your career or money. So think about a department right now that I listed that matters to you right now. And I'm going to draw two cards for the group. And we as a collective group will resonate together. And again, people will read the card differently themselves. So let's just take a moment, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in so that you let the time start to settling in with you. And think about what really matters right now in terms of the department that I spoke about, which is career and money, or relationship, could be with family, friends, or a lover. Or is it your health or spiritual path? What matters to you right now the most? So the first card I'm going to take is about how you are feeling, your current connection with the department that you just thought about. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle, shuffle, shuffle while we take 3 seconds to think about that department, how we're feeling about it. So keep on asking, how am I feeling about my AKA relationship? How am I feeling about my career? How am I feeling about my money situation or financial abundance? How am I feeling about it? Just take some time to think. And I'm going to draw. Oh, where's Andrea?
I'm
Hello?
here. I wanted to
Oh, oh,
spotlight
oh. Oh, okay, okay. So I'm going to draw the card. And the card is, oh, I'm not going to make any faces, but it's the chariot. Oh, where is it? Can you see? Oh, okay, maybe it's easier here.
you.
I'm not sure if you can enlarge it, but take a moment if you can just try to see what you see and how you feel about the image here. Mhm. I'm not going to say anything. Let's take a maybe 10 seconds for people to really connect with the card. If you have challenge connecting with your intuition, maybe just starting to list out, what do you see? Do you see a cloud? Do you see sky? Is the sky dark? Do you see a bird? Do you see a car? Do you see the wheels? Okay, so now that you see all these objects, what are your thoughts about this object? Is the car going slow or fast? Is the sky cloudy or gloomy or bright? Is the bird flying away or settling down? Is the windshield clear or not? What is the position between the bird and the car for you? Take a moment. And what is a general feeling you have about the car, or maybe even the word itself, the chariot? Mhm. Okay. So let me share with you the chariot. And I'd like to pull up what the author of this card has wrote about the chariot. It's a nice story that I always like to share. I think it lends from the author, its energy and its power. So this is the chariot. The chariot rolls down the road, headlights blazing, even in the midst of a heavy midnight downpour. Did you see the rain? A bird leaps into flight off its hood, jubilant in its path to victory. The two makes an impressive pair, power and swiftness, wishing unabashedly into the future. Being completely self assured is a rare and glorious moment. Being completely self assured is a rare and glorious moment. If through careful preparation, self discipline, and steady determination, you will find yourself a victor. Once again, if you go through careful preparation, self discipline, and steady determination, you'll find yourself a victor. You have every right to be proud of your accomplishment. Direct this energy into further efforts. Have total confidence in your abilities. Have total confidence in your ability, my friends. You've clearly demonstrated to yourself and to the world what you can achieve. Forge on. Refuse to let any obstacle stand in your way. So, with this story of this car, you can tell that the chariot car is a really great car. So, wherever you are connecting right now, things are going to be great. This is an upright chariot car, and chariot kind of resemble speed, right? And thing about the chariot car is if you're willing to take all that you know and do it with speed. So, speed is an important element here. Then you'll find yourself a victor. But if you don't, the opposite effect may come in. So let me share with you now what the chariot mean in each of the categories that I spoke about. So if you were thinking about the chariot in terms of, let's start with, let's talk about career and money. It has several messages. When it comes to the physical world and all these abundance and manifestation, is that the one that you should be focusing on is the end goal instead of getting bogged down by life's up and down because it's talking about speed. So if you're talking about money and career, don't get bogged down by the up and down. Think about the bigger picture because you need that speed to get to where you want to go. If you're working towards a degree certification or working for a promotion or job hunting, hone in on your goal. Don't let what comes in your way take your focus off from your end goal, that perfect job. Okay, so this is a really lucky card. And by focusing on all your energy on the positive objectivity, you're less likely to be obsessed about the negative. And use law of attraction to bring forth the things that you want. So again, be positive, work fast, focus on your goal. Do not get bogged down by the nitty gritty. This is where people say like, Echo, that sounds like it can apply to all kinds of things. Fair enough. But you're thinking about career right now. So think about what this card is saying is speed, focus on your end goal. Don't worry about what's going to pass through the window as you drive down this car. What that mean can in terms of job hunting is, don't just get on the job, whatever you see on your way. Focus on what you truly want and only go for the job that fits your criteria. It's the message that, this card is carrying through. So when it comes to love, now the chariot card itself is not really a positive card in terms of relationship reading. And this is because it can represent control issues and being pressure into conforming relationship because you're trying to, be speedy, think about what's convenient, right? So this is an issue about control. It also represents silly arguments, competition, as well as jealousy between partners. And sometimes, if this is something that's happening in your relationship currently, you'll need to take a stand. If there's any way to communicate to overcome your issues, you should do so. Communicate to overcome your issue. Okay. And you should never allow anyone to walk over you and mistreat you. Now, if you're single and trying to heal from a hurt relationship, this is often talking about self care and the love that, and then really define the love that should be part of your life. Think about the, fears and negative system that have been causing you to disconnect from the love that you truly desire. Again, very similar to the career, focusing on the angle, the type of love that you truly desire and deserve. And think about all the roadblock that this car needs to blaze through to move forward to the path, right? And think about the people who are trying to control you when you get this car in terms of a love reading or relationship reading. So here it is to sum it up: is focus on the angle, very similar to career. What is the ultimate love that you deserve and desire? There might be a communication problem, but you need to really, really call it out to overcome whatever issue it is. And the issue might be control, you wanting too much control or someone wanting too much control over you. This is also calling for self care. I mean, self care is always everywhere, but this is the time that you need to retreat inward because there's issues of from communication and control. And the next one is the health, personal health, and perhaps spiritual department. So when it comes to both in the spiritual health and spiritual reading, this is a really great positive card. The main message here is that you need to take control to make things happen. The charioteer was a warrior in the ancient time, who was brave and courageous. So now when we talk about the word courageous, it's important to face your weakness or what you perceive as weakness or vulnerability, where you're not the strongest. And this is where you need to take control instead of letting things happen to you. So if you now, and they're like, oh, Echo, that sounds a bit, woo. But again, if I draw a card that says it's time to not take action, this is an action card. So you'll notice that from all three departments, this is an action card. This is not calling out for retreating inward and reflect. This is an action card. Okay. So thank you so much for, watching this replay or joining me live and really spending this time to bring our energy collectively in and hoping this card was able to show you something. And again, if you want, you can go back to thinking about before Echo start, describing this card. What was my original thought about this card? Was it a positive feeling? Was it a negative feeling? What did I see? Did I see a great connection of the bird and the car? Did I felt like it was downpouring in a rain in a negative way or not? So these kind of description and feeling towards the car is very individualized. And that is why I use tarot card in my way of activating someone's intuition and deep connection with their insight and gut. So again, great card for career, great card for health and spirituality, card that's presenting a little bit communication issue and controlling issue in a love department.
Wow, that was just so powerful, and another reason why I just love these tarot readings. And because people really think of it like kind of like horoscopes, and it's just like, this is, like you said, it's just building on your intuition and potentially giving you like a different perspective, or to kind of get you unstuck, right? But you already have the answer. It's just kind of guiding you a little bit. Actually, I was gonna see if you can, because when you held it, like it was blurry. Just can you try to see if you can hold it closer to the camera to see if it.
The way the camera is set up to be zoomed is a bit challenging. So I think the clearest part I could hold is
If anything,
right here.
why don't you take a picture and post as a comment later
Oh,
for people to
okay.
see it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the comment of
Yeah.
the thing, and that would be cool. But like I said, like that's why I requested this group tarot reading, because it was really great last time you did it during my webinar. But I really think, like, even just hearing it, like even when you were saying, like, think of it's either business, relationships, health, and at first I was just like, oh man, all of that's on my mind, because my mind goes in a million directions. But I always like when you're like, no, but right now, what, like, if you like dig deep, like what stands out to you. And I ended up choosing the relationship category, but it stuck out to me about the whole control thing. That's exactly what I'm struggling with. And anyway, so it's just like so like mind blowing how like crazy
We're
it is.
connected.
Yeah.
Well, I work so much with you and I love working with you. So we're connected in that sense. So, but here's the thing about tarot card. Once you want to tap into your intuition and the card spoke, you need to listen to it. Otherwise, The universe is like, well, when I show you last, you didn't really listen, so why bother the next time? And the other part is, what you talk about is, I could be thinking about anything, but you know how people decide the coin, yes or no? The moment the coin falls, you already know. I wish it was tail or head, right? That's what the tarot card does. Like I'm about to pull the card. Well, okay, love, right? So that's the powerful part about this physical activity of having a tarot card together. It's just to get your mind, you know, triggered to really make that decision. So yeah, that's why I love bringing
Awesome.
tarot card into my program.
Well, I love that we were able to experience it, and again, show the viewers your work, and give them this experience. So, we're at time. I know we went over because I know you said you wanted to do 45 minutes, but I think this tarot reading was really powerful and really insightful. So I hope, viewers today, or if you're watching this later, that you found this helpful. And if you did, please, comment, tag, share, to sort of raise awareness, to an important topic about limiting beliefs and stereotypes, and then aligning, our mind, body, gut, everything. And again, thank you so much, Echo, for being part of the show today and being my special guest, and for doing the reading and sharing your stories and case studies. It was really powerful, really insightful. Thank you so much again. And this obviously isn't the last of you and I, because we work together. And just thank you again so much.
Hey, thank you. Like you're doing so much for the community and for entrepreneurs and people who needs a voice. So you are super inspiring. And thank you so much for sharing your story because those are the stories that people don't get time to talk about. And I'm glad you and I have this space to talk about. So thank you so much for creating that safe space. And obviously, if people disagree with what we say, hey, you know what? Let's start a conversation. Comment below. And by commenting, you are also activating your intuition. You're getting that thought flowing. And that thought could come from your gut, from your heart, from your mind. We're happy to hear and see how we can align things together. Thank you again so much, and yeah, for sure, looking forward to working with you next time again, Andrea.
Of course, no problem. And I'm just going to take 30 seconds to promote what else is coming up if you're watching next Monday. Again, my last two sort of speakers are also female. So, again, continuing my support for women. So, Monday at noon, we have an IG Live with Marcia from Social MD. So, if you're trying to learn about how to do IG Reels for small businesses, like me, I'm trying to learn that. So we actually have a power hour where she's going to walk you through some of the best practices and tips for how to do IG Reels for small businesses. So that's Monday at 12 p.m. And then from 5 to 7, I'm going to be interviewing the one of the owners of Green Merchant, which is a cannabis boutique in Liberty Village. But I'm actually going to go on site, and I put this in the TS group, but I'm actually inviting people to come in person to network and connect with people in person, because they're one of the first like cannabis boutique lounges. um, you don't have to consume that if not, and it's a free admission. So that's Monday from 5 to 7 at the Green Merchant Liberty Village, and then Tuesday at 11:30 till 12 for a quick half hour. I have Joyce Fu from JFu Chiropractic, who will do a half hour on working remotely, the ergonomics, so like getting your desk space at home to like work for you, and effective back stretches, kind of like what Echo said earlier, but we're all cramped over our computers all day long. So that is going to be a really good one on Tuesday to sort of round up my last feature for Asian Heritage Month. So I hope you guys have been enjoying all these features. I found them super insightful and powerful. So thank you again so much, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And for some of you guys, I will see you tonight at my Toronto Game Night and Chill event at Free Play, which is pretty much sold out. I have almost 60 people who are showing up. So lots to come and more to come. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Echo. Have a great Friday and weekend. See you next week.